Donald Trump says that he was not on the ballot. You absolutely were on the ballot. The minute you decide to use your win as an opportunity to go after your political enemies, you were on the ballot. The images of your ICE agents and your Border Patrol agents tackling moms in the school drop-off lines, putting rifles in the faces of 17-year-olds, taking off with U.S. citizens that you detained with their toddler not strapped in the back. You were on the ballot. Your ICE agents putting guns through the window of people. The unqualified, untrained ICE agents ramming and shooting at people. You were on the ballot. Your Border Patrol agents tear gassing and pepper spraying a pastor in the middle of prayer. That was you. You were on the ballots. You were also on the ballot when you decided to shake down private entities in the form of settling lawsuits. You were on the ballot. You were on the ballot when you, again, taking bribes, but in the form of helping you fund the demolition and destruction of the East Wing without permission, a historic building. You were on the ballot. You were on the ballot when you decided to become a dictator. When you just said that you were going to ignore court orders. You were on the ballot when you let Russell Vogt claw back funding for infrastructure to help the city of New York stay safe in case of a terrorist threat. You were on the ballot when Russell Vogt decided to claw back funding for anything that's related to children from minority community. You were on the ballot when your Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin, canceled block grants, clean energy grants to help all those fundings for programs that's helping United States have renewable or clean energy. You were on the ballot. You were on the ballot also when you decide to send federal troops into cities for no damn reason. Claiming crime when D.C. crime was going down. In Chicago, murder was going down and crime was going down in Chicago. Sending troops to Portland, which is 75 out of whatever hundreds of cities with similar sites, similar sizes, when they sending troops to Portland, which is number 75 out of 100 cities of similar size in crime. Sending your troops to go purposefully harass protesters. You were on the ballot. You were. You were also on the ballot when you decide to try to tell Mike Johnson to hide and protect pedophiles and people who hurt and abused and assaulted and trafficked children. And today he's still doing that. You were on the ballot. You are. You're on the ballot. You decided to send our taxpayer dollars to Argentina for quid pro quo. You're on the ballot when your tariffs caused the soybean farmers to lose all of their clients in China and send it to Australia. The beef farmers, you're on the ballots when your trade tariffs impacted them. You were on the ballot when you decided you're not going to do anything about inflation because you really can't. You're on the ballot when you decided to leave the country in the middle of a shutdown, which is unprecedented, which no president has ever done, to go frolic and dance in Asia and get an award. You're on the ballot when you send us images of you redesigning the East Room or the White House or the Mar-a-Lago and all that stuff on taxpayer dimes. You're on the ballots when you threw a lavish party in Mar-a-Lago while people don't have SNAP benefits. You're on the ballot when you chose to not pay SNAP benefits for 42 million Americans who are in SNAP, and then lie about not knowing how to do it, not knowing that when you were in office last time, the United States Department of Agriculture under your administration created the plan for paying SNAP during a shutdown. You're on the ballot when the judge gave you the option to use two sources of funding so you can pay full, and you chose to use half and pay half the money for no damn reason. You're on the ballot on the day of election when you decide that you're actually not going to pay until the Democrats open up the government, which you have to flip. So as people were deciding whether or not to go to the polls and vote for a Republican, some people decided to stay home. Some people decided, I'm going to vote for the Democrats because I don't know where to eat. And this man is saying that he's not going to pay until politics finish playing out in Washington while my kids need to eat. So that was you. You were on the ballot. You're on the ballot every time you open your mouth and you say something bad about the people who represent 70 whatever percent of the country, because MAGA is only 22% of the population. So every time you say you're going to take away Democrat programs, which means Head Start, which means Meals on Wheels, which means funding for environmental protection, you're on the ballot. You're on the ballot when you took away Job Corps. You're on the ballot when you decided to defund any program that mentions the word black, even if it's a culture program that's for everyone. You were on the ballot. You were on the ballot, sir. I don't know why you think that last night is a repudiation of you and your policies and your power grab. You're choosing to ignore court orders. That was you. No one else did that. That was you. You were on the ballot when you put these sycophants that are blowing up innocent men and women without explaining it in fishermen boats. That was you. You were on the ballot when you decide to take innocent people off the streets, claim they're members of a gang, not give them evidence, not give them true opportunity to say they were not, and send them to a prison in El Salvador to be tortured for 100 days, deny them the due process rights the United States Supreme Court said they're authorized and or should be afforded. That was you. You were on the ballot. You were on the ballot, sir. You were on the ballot when you decide to deport United States citizen children with cancer and ship them to another country they've never been. You're on the ballot when you round up immigrants, migrants, and orphans and put them on a plane in the middle of the night to go send them to a country where they had previously been trafficked or where they say they don't want to be when they're in school and they're happy. Pick them out of their bed in the middle of the night. That was you did that. You were on the ballot when you did that. You were on the ballot when you picked up some African immigrants, shackled them on their hand and feet, put them around in some, put them straitjackets on them, put them on a military plane, and then dumped them in the nation that eventually sent them to countries where they knew they were going to be tortured. You on the ballot when you violated the Geneva Convention Against Torture. Time and time again. You on the ballot when you committed human rights violations, when you allowed them. You're on the ballot when someone asks you if you think it's gone far, what you're seeing, these images, and you said it's not far enough. That was you, sir. You said that. When people went for Prop 50, because you're on the ballot, when you decided to ask the state of Georgia, the state of Indiana, the state of North Carolina to cheat because Republicans cannot win with their policies, because they do nothing. They don't create anything. All they do is take away. They take away your rights. They take away your voting rights. They take away your SNAP benefits. They take away food benefits. They take away safety. They take away security. The only thing they take away the taxes of the billionaires and riches. But they do nothing to add to people's lives whatsoever. And you're in the ballot when you ask people a party that provides nothing for people, that the only way you can win is to gerrymander, because you hoping that Republicans in red states continue to vote for you despite the fact that you do nothing for them. And Proposition 50 is the state of California said we're going to give our residents of our state the right and ability to vote, to say whether or not they want us to gerrymander, to counter what you ask, the seats that you say you created in Texas, which may backfire, because we saw it in Mississippi, deep red Mississippi or purple Mississippi just flipped 3 seats so to break up the supermajority that once was held in Mississippi. So you're eroding not just your base, you're eroding and destroying the Republican Party across America. And that's you. You're on the ballot. All of the stuff they're doing is a direct repudiation of you and your administration that's lawless, that's destroying the United States government, that's tearing up the Constitution, that's violating the law, that's just firing all the federal workers, destroying their lives, causing people to be homeless, not knowing where to put food in the flight for no damn reason. When you fired probationary employees, saying that they, for performance basis, many probation employees who actually we had previously gotten from private sectors or lateral over from other departments, who are good people who had great reviews right before and stays for performance, because you just want to get rid of federal, because Russell Vought's an evil motherfucker, and he just, in the Project 2025, just have some bizarre, hard on against the against federal workers, and you firing people when we need the oceanic, and because of your oceanic firings, innocent children in Texas were floating down because the alarm system did not work, because you didn't have people working, because y'all fired all the people. And that was you. You were on the ballot, sir. You were on the ballot in every single way. It was you. And they're going to continue to be on the ballot. And they're going to continue to lose. And this is just the beginning. And so yesterday is just the beginning. And so if you're Republicans, if you don't change your stripes, and your Republicans don't open the damn government, and your Republicans in power in the House who have the ability to bring this in, don't do it, we're going to do it for you. By the way, I am JT Legal. I'm in the dockets. If you're new here, that's what I do. I chronicle the lawsuits filed against the Trump administration. I haven't done that in a while, but I'm going to do that today and catch up. And yeah, so I'm in the dockets. I'm helping people realize that we're fighting back, and I'm part of the resistance. And if you'd like to support me, I'm wearing my big fan of human rights sweatshirt. I'm a big fan of voting rights. Big fan of voting rights sweatshirt. You can get mine of human rights cap at my shop, JJ Legal. Each one teach one. Share this video.